Well, I'm 71 years old, and I guess statistically I've already lived probably 90% of my life. But I've come to a realization on some things here lately, some things that I used to be afraid of, some things I used to do, some of the fears that maybe society placed on me when I was in my 20s, and my 30s, 40s. And I've come to realize those things really didn't matter at all. Now, I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't want to sell you a course. I'm not going to tell you how to get rich quick, because that's just not what this video is about. But what I am going to do here is, if you give me just a few minutes and kind of hang with me here, I'd like to go over some of those truths and some of those regrets and some of the things that I've come to realize didn't matter. So if you give me a little bit of time here, let's get into it. Now, this is just old Roscoe talking, but one of the first things that came to my mind was how time slips away from you, how the clock runs. Now, when I was 25, a year seemed like a long time. Seemed like a very long time. But when you hit to your 70s, it seems like a decade goes really fast. A decade's almost like a weekend. And one of the things that we do as human beings, and I was just as guilty as anybody, is we keep telling each other, or we keep telling ourselves this lie that, hey, we're going to start living as soon as we kind of reach the next milestone, whatever it is. When I get that promotion, that's when things are going to start looking up for me, and I'm going to start living. I'm going to start taking my time, and I'm going to start living. And for me, and for a lot of people my age, it's like, well, when I retire, when I get to retirement age, that's when I'm going to start living. And that's a big lie that we tell ourselves, because I think the reality is that you've got right now. This is the moment, right now. However messy it is, however messy or stressful or whatever your life is, you got to start living now. So that's a big deal to me, and it's something that's not easy. It's not easy to get over and to realize that, hey, we've got now, and stop putting all these things off. Stop waiting for that perfect moment, because I don't believe there is a perfect moment. I think we've got right now, and it's all kind of in our head as to what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. And if we can do it now, it's a good idea. So as I've gotten older, I can think about some things that are regretful. And lately I've been kind of categorizing them into two different little baskets, One is the things that I did. Some of the stupid things I did, maybe financial or maybe physical. And although I think about those things, they don't mean that much to me anymore, because those things that I did, a lot of times they just kind of turn into stories. It's a story I could tell myself, or it's a story I could tell somebody else. And sometimes I even get a chuckle out of them. Might have been painful at the time, but I probably learned something. I probably learned a lesson. And that kind of thing I can live with. It's not as hard. It's not as painful. It's a regret, but it's not as bad as my second kind of regret. My second kind of regret is basically the things I didn't do. It's the business I didn't start because I was afraid someone else was going to judge me on it or whatever. Or it's the things I didn't say to the people I love. The times that I didn't tell someone I love you, and maybe I wasn't going to get another chance to do that. And I had a situation like that with my mother. She was sick. She was in the hospital, and she wasn't going to come out of the hospital. But I had a business trip I had to take, and I went ahead and took it. I was a younger man. And while I was gone, she passed away. And that was regretful, that I was not by her side. So there's that kind of regret, and that's much more painful to me. But at my age, again, I don't worry about those things too much. I don't worry about things as far as how other people might look at my life. My life is my life. And I know I started this off saying, at my age, I've probably lived 90% of it. You can't go back and change certain things. But if you got something that you need to do, do it. And One other thing is, do the hard things. Do the hard things, because the hard things are good for you. The hard things are the things that will create the character that you need to create. They'll create the character that people will look up to you for. And they'll say someday that, I really appreciated that guy or that girl, because she stepped up. She did the hard things. She told me she loved me. He told me he loved me. That kind of thing. That's another form of regret. And it's the kind of regret that sticks with you. Sticks with you. Not like the stupid things you've done. And then there was this big one for me, this big thing. And I think back to how much time I wasted chasing material things. Chasing the idea of I need a bigger house, or I've got to have the nicest truck. And I did chase those things. And now when I think back on them, what did they actually mean? They meant nothing. Because everything that I ever owned, if I don't own it now, someone else does. All those nice trucks that I've had, they're either being driven by somebody else or else they're in a junkyard, and they didn't mean anything. But at the time, they were just like the most important thing in the world to me. And that's something that's like another regret, but it's something that I've learned about. That material things are fleeting. You lay your eyes on something that you want, you want that new truck, that new car, that new house or whatever, and then you finally get it. And when you get it, you love it for about 15 minutes. Now I know that's an exaggeration, but you have to agree with me. Once you get these things, that feeling doesn't last. It's kind of old hat real quick. And now you want something else. And that's something that takes a while to kind of get in your brain, that these material things and things like that are not forever. What's forever? What's forever is the people in your life. What's forever is the relationships that you have. What's forever is the people who call you, the people who, when you're sick, they want to know how you're doing. It's not that new truck. It's not that new house or that new car. It's not that new boat. It's the people. That's what's important. And sometimes you just have to live long enough to come to these realizations, because you get so busy in life as a younger person, and everything is going on right now. You've got the stress, you've got the stress of the bills and the stress at work, which is a real thing for many people. They live 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours at work, and then they come home and they can't leave work at work. That's something else I learned. And that was really hard for me. You can ask my wife. But anyway, you get to my age and you start to learn these things. And I'm looking at this like, kind of like your Dutch uncle. He wants to give you advice. I'm not here to give you advice. Again, like I said, I can't sell you something. I can't sell you a course. And I can't make you rich. But some of these things are truths. There's something else that I've been extremely guilty of, and that is abusing my body. And it's something that you think you can do this when you're young, when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. But you're going to get the receipt for that. You're going to get an invoice. You're going to get a bill. Someday it's going to show up. You can't treat your body like it's a rental car. You know what it's like to treat a rental car. Oh, it's not mine. It's no big deal. I'll drive it. I'll park it next to that $50 car. I don't care if it gets a door damage. It's a rental car. That's not the way you got to do this. And like I say, I'm really guilty of that. And I've been guilty of that for a long, long time. But I have changed my ways. And I do get exercise. And that's an important thing for you. Just remember that. Someday, you're going to be older. You're going to be in your 50s, 60s, 70s. You want to take care of your knees. You want to take care of your back. You want to take care of your teeth. You want to make sure that, hey, this body that we're living in, yeah, it's temporary, but you might be in it for 100 years. And if you've hung with me this long, I really appreciate it. But I think one of the points that I really want to make is that youth and age is not just something that's on paper. It's not just something that's on your driver's license. It's kind of a state of mind. And I know for me, I still feel young most of the time. I still think the world is beautiful. I still am very curious. There's still things I want to do. And yeah, this is an old guy talking to you. And I do appreciate your time. And maybe if you got anything out of this at all, you'll hit that like button and maybe you'll hit the subscribe button. I appreciate your time. Thank you.